Good afternoon. Welcome once again to Dooley Health and Care Field in Joliet, Illinois, where the University of St. Francis is going to try to make it 2 in a row against Trinity Christian College. Terry Bonadonna with you for Game 2 of today's doubleheader. The Saints took the opener by a final score of 8-2. Now let's look at the starting lineups for Game 2. Starting with Trinity Christian, their leadoff batter is right fielder Omar Wright. Batting second, shortstop Oliver Carmody. Connor Janik, the big hitter in Game 1, bats third. He's the designated hitter. Hitting cleanup, first baseman Preston Moore. Benson Holloman bats fifth in left field. Anthony Capoletti is at third. Carter Cheney hits seventh in center. Zach Hess hits eighth. Hess is the second baseman. And batting ninth, catcher Brody Mayberry. The starting pitcher in Game 2 for Trinity Christian is Christopher Nielsen. For the Fighting Saints, it's John McGuire leading off and playing second. Batting second, left fielder Max Montgomery. Nate Maliska is at first base. Jake Klepash hits fourth in right field. Batting fifth, third baseman Drew Dant. Brian Hidalgo is the shortstop. Josh Kernbauer hits seventh as DH. Cliff Vickers is in center. Batting ninth, catcher Dan Goosel. The starting pitcher for the Fighting Saints in Game 2, delivering his first pitch of the game, is right-hander Sean Mahalik, whose first offering is fouled off to the right side, strike one. We're underway. 2:56 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Mahalik's 0-1 toss to right, misses for a ball.
Game time temperature.
Sean Mahalik's been one of the hottest pitchers on the team.
Degrees.
He's been awfully good during the 6-game winning streak. It's a 7-game winning streak now after they took the opener today. He fires a strike to right, and he's in the head in the count 1-2. Mahalik is making his fourth start of the season. It's his 10th appearance overall. I'll give you the rest of his numbers in just a moment. The 1-2 pitch. Right hits a ground ball up the middle, off the mound, and just out of the reach of a diving Brian Hidalgo at short. Omar Wright is aboard for the first time today. Game 1 this afternoon, he went 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. But he reaches first base on a single in his opening at bat and the opening at bat of Game 2.
Shortstop, number 12.
Sean Mahalik this season is 1-0 with a 4.03 ERA. In 22 1/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 21 runs, 10 of them earned on 33 hits. He's got 4 strikeouts against 2 walks. His first pitch to Oliver Carmody is rolled over to third. It's a foul ball. It hit off the foot of Carmody, so it goes as strike one. There seems to be some kind of confusion. I don't know if maybe the base umpire indicated that it was a fair ball. It's not his call, so I don't know why anybody would react to him, because the home plate umpire immediately threw up his hands and said foul ball. There was never a question about it. But Carmody kind of blew up right away and said, hey, that hit me, which nobody had disagreed with. And then the head coach of Trinity, Adam Enright, popped out of the dugout to complain about it. After confirming it was a foul ball, now Brian Mahalik wants an explanation. Again, I must have missed something from the base umpire. He must have given some kind of indication. Again, that's not his call. It's the home plate umpire's call, and he was pretty clear about it from the beginning, so I don't know where the confusion comes from. But there is a runner at first. The count is 0-1 on Oliver Carmody, the shortstop for Trinity. Carmody went 1 for 3 with a double in Game 1. He's trying to get Trinity off to a good start here in Game 2 as he grounds it right to the third baseman. Dant throws to second, and he can't get the force as he throws it into right field. Wright heads to third base, and they're at the corners with nobody out on what will go as one error, but is essentially 2, because that probably should have been a double play, and instead of getting 2 outs, they get 0. So Carmody is safe at first. We'll call it a fielder's choice. E5. And Wright makes it all the way to third base on the play.
Number 21, Connor Janik.
Trinity never led during Game 1 of today's twin bill. They've got a chance to take an early lead here in Game 2. Here's Connor Janik. Big cut for the first pitch. Strike one. 436 hitter entering play today. Janik went 2 for 3 with a homer and scored both of Trinity's runs in Game 1. Before the 0-1 pitch, a throw to first. Carmody dives back to the bag. Oliver Carmody, always a threat to steal. 8 for 8 this year. The 0-1 pitch, nubbed foul, 0-2. Omar Wright led off the ball game with a single up the middle. Oliver Carmody hit a hard one-hopper over to third. There's no guarantee that they would have gotten a double play out of it, but it was certainly in the cards. They would have had one out easily, but the throw from Dant to second base was wild. Everybody was safe. Ball high, 1-2 on Janik. Throw to first base, not in time. 1-2 the count. Preston Moore is on deck. No runs on the board yet, but nobody out, so Trinity is trying to turn this into a big inning. Hard grounder left side, diving stop, Hidalgo. The throw goes to first base, and he gets the out at first. Nicely done by Hidalgo. Maliska makes the pick over at first on a throw in the dirt. Omar Wright comes in to score. It's 1-0 Trinity. Carmody advances to second base on the play. Janik gets credit for an RBI. He's retired 6-3 on a really nice play by Brian Hidalgo. That'll be an unearned run for the time being. For Janik, it is RBI number 2 today, number 25 for the season. Strike one called on Preston Moore. That was big for Mahalik to get that first out, but he's a long way from getting out of the woods. Preston Moore, a tough out. Went 0 for 2 and was hit by a pitch in game 1. Came in hitting .328. Ball in the dirt, good block by Gusel. The count is even. Trinity got a run on the board in the second inning of game 1. That tied the score 1-1. This is the first time they've had a lead all day today. Grounder left side, and it finds its way through to left field. Carmody will try to score. The throw from left field is not in time, and it kicks away from the catcher Gusel, allowing Preston Moore to advance to second base. The throw from left field was off the mark. Gusel was not able to pull it in. Sean Mahalik was there, though, to back it up. However, Mahalik was not able to field that ball on a routine backup because it hit the bat that had been left just outside the batter's circle by Preston Moore on the base hit, and it kicked away from Mahalik. So that'll be a throwing error on Montgomery, I think, that allows Moore to get to second base, but it is an RBI single. Here's Benson Holloman with Trinity up 2-0. Holloman takes ball 1 inside. Two hits this inning, a couple of errors. Things are going Trinity's way. Pickoff throw to second base. Off the glove of Hidalgo. He's able to protect it, though, and not allow that ball to reach the outfield. One 1-0 on Holloman. Fly ball into right field. Jake Klepash moves over on it, makes the catch. The runner at second base tags. The throw is cut off, so Preston Moore makes it into third base on the fly out for Holloman. 2 down. Two runs are in. Great start for Trinity Christian against the top offense in the CCAC. You want to pile up as many runs as you possibly can. So they don't want to settle for the 2, knowing that they've got another man in scoring position right now. Anthony Capoletti bats for the first time and takes ball 1 outside. Capoletti went 0 for 2 with a walk in the opener. 1-0. Up and away from Mahalik. 2-0. You can generally expect the ball to be put in play against Sean Mahalik. Just 2 walks and 4 strikeouts in 23 innings pitched this season. So the defense should stay on their toes. Ball outside, 3-0. Defense has let them down a little bit so far. One of the 2 runs is unearned as that ball is lifted out to left field. Coming in towards the line is Max Montgomery to make the catch. Capoletti had the 3-0 green light, but he flies out to Montgomery to end the inning. They leave a man at third base, but they do score a pair of runs on a pair of hits and a pair of errors. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning. St. Francis will bat for the first time, trailing 2-0. St. Francis has to dig themselves out of a hole early in this game, trailing Trinity Christian 2-0. John McGuire, Max Montgomery, and Nate Meliska will try to get the offense on track. Klepash, Dant, Hidalgo, Kernbauer, Vickers, and Goose will make up the rest of the starting lineup. Facing Trinity Christian right-hander Christopher Nielsen. Nielsen, the junior from Australia, starts things off with ball 1 on John McGuire. 6'1" tall right-hander pitches exclusively from the stretch as McGuire shoots it down the left field line. A base hit for him. The ball rolls all the way down into the corner. McGuire's got 2 bases easily. A leadoff double for the Fighting Saints. A pretty good start for them offensively after the Trolls scored a couple in their first at-bat. John McGuire has his second hit, his second extra base hit of the doubleheader. Here's Max Montgomery. Christopher Nielsen this year is 5-1, primarily as reliever. It's his 10th appearance, 4th start. 5.57 ERA for him. In 42 innings pitched, he's allowed 30 runs, 26 of them earned on 41 hits, with 50 strikeouts against 13 walks. Opponents are batting .248 against Nielsen this year. Montgomery's first attempt at him is bunted foul for strike 1. Certainly no panic from Brian Mahalik. We're only in the first inning. So trailing by a couple of runs early. He's still playing small ball, looking to advance the runners here. I guess the runner singular in this case. 0-1 on Max Montgomery. Squares to bunt again. This time he drops into fair territory and nobody goes after it. Montgomery is aboard on a bunt single. They're at the corners. Some miscommunication there. I'm not sure what Anthony Capoletti was doing. Maybe he thought that ball was going to be fielded by Christopher Nielsen, but it was a bunt right down the third base line. So it's kind of shocking to see Capoletti back away from it. And once he took that first step back, there was never going to be a chance to catch Montgomery at first base. So it goes as a bunt base hit. They're at the corners, nobody out. And Nate Meliska will try to get the Saints on the board as he takes ball 1 low. Well, it was a defensive miscue that put Trinity Christian in position to score in the top of the inning. And they took advantage of it. See if the Saints can do the same. That was a good bunt from Montgomery. He takes off for second base. The throw goes to second, and he is out. So all's well that ends well for Trinity Christian. Base runner retired after all. And there's the first out of the inning. I was just going to say it was a good bunt from Montgomery, so even if Capoletti had played it correctly, it may have been a base hit for Montgomery, but it's all a moot point now because he's out anyway. Nate Meliska swings and lines it to the right side. Gloved on one hop by the second baseman, Zach Hess, who throws Meliska out at first base. But John McGuire comes across home plate and makes it a 2-1 game.
Right fielder, number 34.
Meliska has himself an RBI. Number 25 for him this season. Base is clear with 2 gone. Here's Jake Klepash. He went 3 for 3 in the opening game. Big swing here, strike 1. 3 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. Drove in 2 runs in that game. He's got 24 RBIs for the season. Ball low, 1-1. Hitting right around 420 for the season. Fouled back, strike 2. If he reaches, Drew Dant, who's hitting right around 440 for the season, will bat next. So a little 2-out pressure here on the right-hander Christopher Nielsen. 1-2 pitch coming up, righty to lefty. Klepash takes strike 3. He goes down looking. First strikeout of the doubleheader for Trinity Christian pitching. And after a rough start, Nielsen pitches around some trouble, allows just the 1 run on 2 hits. St. Francis doesn't leave anybody on. We'll go to the second after an action-packed first inning. 2-1 Trolls. Two to one, the visiting team leads as we head into the second inning. Trinity will try to extend that advantage. With the bottom of their order due up, Carter Cheney, Zach Hess, and then Brody Mayberry, who will be getting his first at-bat today. Carter Cheney takes ball 1 up and away from Sean Mahalik to begin the second inning. Cheney hitting the number 2 hole in game 1. Went 0 for 2 with a walk. Ball outside, 2-0. You're in game number 2. He bats number 7. 256 average entering play today. Fouls off the 2-0 pitch for strike 1. Trinity Christian got 2 hits in the first inning, helped out by a little shaky defense from the Saints. Ball low, 3-1. But Sean Mahalik was able to strand Preston Moore over at third base to keep it from turning it into a big inning. Fouled away, 3-2. Now he's trying to go after the bottom 3 hitters and attack them early here in the second. Full count offering, fouled back. Trinity is making Mahalik work a little bit harder here in game 2 than Ryan Daly did in game 1. Fouled away, still 3-2. Daly threw a complete game on just over 80 pitches. It was a 7-inning game. But a lot of quick at-bats in that one. A lot of quick outs. Daly was sharp throughout. 3-2 is bounced foul. Cheney will see a 9th pitch. Just 4 hits for Trinity in game 1. They had 7 total base runners. But Daly was able to set him down in order in the 9th inning. Strike 3 on Cheney. He goes down for the first strikeout of the game for Mahalik. And there's 1 away in the 2nd inning. Nice job by Mahalik bouncing back after starting him out 2-0. Finally got him on the 9th pitch. Here's Zach Hess. Hess takes strike 1. The second baseman is getting the start here in game 2 after he struck out in a pinch hitting appearance in the 9th inning, or rather the 7th inning of game 1. He lines this ball in the left field in front of Montgomery, who has to play it on 1 bounce. 3rd hit of the game for Trinity. They've got a man aboard with 1 out. I'm not sure if Hess's presence in the starting lineup has anything to do with Darion Mickle getting hit by a pitch on the elbow in game 1. He was clearly shaken up about that. He stayed in the game at the time, but he is not on the field to start game 2, and maybe it's unrelated. But it is a cool day. Those sores will linger with you on a day like this. Brody Mayberry takes strike 1. Mayberry is behind the plate here in game 2, getting his first at bat of the day as he fouls it off 0-2. It's his 7th game started this year. He's 4 for 17 at the plate. Does have 4 RBIs. The 0-2. Bouncing ball left side of the infield. Tough play for Mahalik, who backhands it, throws to first, and gets the easy out. 2 down. Not sure if Mayberry is maybe nursing an injury. He's under instruction not to run, but he didn't run that one out. That benefited Mahalik, or maybe he thought he fouled it off of himself. That might be the more logical explanation, because that was a difficult play for Mahalik. And granted, with the catcher running down the line, it makes it a little bit easier, but Mayberry didn't put any pressure on him. Turned it into an easy out. Hard grounder hit by right, but at the shortstop, Brian Hidalgo. Hidalgo's throw to first is in time to retire right. And despite a 1-out single, Trinity Christian goes down pretty quietly in the 2nd. We'll go to the bottom of the frame. Trolls 2, Saints 1. Drew Dant leads off the bottom of the 2nd for St. Francis, chasing 1 run early in this game. Dant, Hidalgo, and Kernbauer due up against Christopher Nielsen. First pitch is swung on and missed, strike 1. Dant entered play today as a .434 hitter. He added to that average, going 2 for 3. Reached base 3 times in game 1. The 0-1 pitch took something off of it. Dant was way out in front. 0-2. Dant this season has combined to either walk or be hit by a pitch 21 times, while striking out just 15 times this year. Checks his swing. He did not go around. So no strikeout number 16 yet. 1-2 on Dant. Nielsen did strike out Jake Klepash to end the first inning. And that was the first strikeout all day in 8 innings of play. Well, I guess 7 innings of offense for St. Francis. They only came to bat 6 times in game 1. Ball high, 2-2. Still impressive bat-to-ball skills for the Fighting Saints so far against the Trinity pitching staff. A staff that doesn't strike out a ton of guys to begin with, certainly not the pitchers that we've seen today. Full count on Dant. Logan Strutz, maybe their best strikeout pitcher on the team. Just shy of 1 per inning. Nielsen, actually, in terms of strikeouts per 9 innings, is number 1. 50 strikeouts this year in 42 innings. So he's the guy. He's got one of them, but he can't finish off Dant after starting him off 0-2. He misses on 4 straight, and Drew Dant is aboard. Close call on the 3-2 pitch, but it goes the Saints' way. There's a man aboard. Third base runner of the game already for the Fighting Saints. They got 1 run in the first. Had what could have been a bigger rally halted by a caught stealing. That's Brian Hidalgo swinging to the first pitch. He grounds it to third, backhanded by Capoletti, who throws to second and gets the lead runner. Nice job by the second baseman, Zach Hess, to hold the bag. Playing it like a first baseman there. Didn't even think about trying to turn 2. He just wanted to make sure he got the 1 out. So Hidalgo is aboard on the fielder's choice. That's the 4th time in today's doubleheader that he's grounded into a fielder's choice. He's had 4 total at-bats, so that's every time. Just in case you're not as good at math, as I am. Ball 1 low on Josh Kernbauer. Technically, it's only the 2nd time he's reached on a fielder's choice. The other 2 times it ended the inning. Hidalgo's at first, 1 away. The 1-0 to Kernbauer is over for a strike, 1-1. Kernbauer DHing once again with Montgomery out and left. With John McGuire back out in the field playing second base. This is a lineup that Brian Mahalik is more comfortable going to once again. Remember, at the beginning of the year, McGuire was relegated to DH duty. There's a pop-up out to right field. Shallow. Omar Wright comes in and makes the catch. Hidalgo is forced to return to first base. 2 down in the inning. Cliff Vickers, the center fielder, batting out of the 8th spot in the lineup. Comes up with a man at first base. A promising start to the inning with the leadoff walk, but nothing's developed since then for the Saints. Vickers tries to bunt his way aboard, but he misses the first pitch. Strike 1. Vickers had a sacrifice bunt in the opener. He went 0 for 2 in that game officially. Throw over to first. Runner back in safely. The leadoff man has reached in back-to-back innings for St. Francis. So Nielsen has been forced to pitch with somebody on pretty consistently. The 0-1 is over at the knees, strike 2. Nielsen is 1 strike away from putting a 0 on the scoreboard. Trinity Christian leads 2-1. St. Francis entering this game has won 7 in a row. The 0-2, high fly ball into center field. Carter Cheney is under it, and Cheney makes the catch. Second inning comes to a close. No runs, no hits, 1 walk, and 1 man left on base. To the third we go. 2-1. Trinity leads. Top three, Trinity Christian leads by a run. Oliver Carmody, Connor Janik, and Preston Moore will try to make it more than a one-run lead against Sean Mahalik, whose first pitch is laced into left field for a base hit. Oliver Carmody is on base for the second time in the game. Reached on an error and scored back in the first, so he's 1 for 2 now. And Trinity keeps the pressure on Mahalik. Both teams have had oodles of base runners early on. The Saints have had 3 of them through 2 innings with 1 run scoring. This is the 5th base runner already for Trinity Christian with nobody out in the 3rd. Connor Janik is 0 for 1. He does have an RBI on a ground out back in the 1st. That was a really nice play by Hidalgo to retire him. Strike 1 called here on Janik. Throw to first base is not in time to catch Carmody, who dives back to the bag. Janik is closing in now on 100 at-bats for the season. This is the 42nd game of the year for Trinity Christian. Just his 99th at-bat. So he has not played a full schedule for the Trolls this year. But as he inches his way towards that, he is the leading hitter for Trinity Christian. The 0-1 is lined into right field. Back-to-back hits for the Trolls to start this 3rd inning. Oliver Carmody heads to 3rd base. They're at the corners. Couple of solid base hits open up this 3rd inning for the 2nd time today. Trinity Christian has runners at the corners with nobody out. Back in the 1st inning, they were able to turn that situation and do 2 runs. We'll see if they can do it again here as they try to create a little separation between themselves and the Saints. Preston Moore is 1 for 1. He swings the first pitch, grounds it to 3rd. Nicely scooped by Dant, who fires over to 1st, 1 away. Dant made sure that Carmody could not score on the play. Didn't really have the luxury to be quite as careful with Connor Janik, who makes his way into 2nd base. So that eliminates the force at 2nd and likely takes double play off the table. So the Saints will have to be careful with 2 men in scoring position and only 1 out. Benson Holloman drops a bunt down right side. It's a beauty. Everybody is safe, and Mahalik flips it to nobody, and another run comes in to score. 4-1 Trinity. The throw goes to 2nd, and Holloman is tagged out. 2nd out of the inning, but 2 runs score on his bunt, and the Trolls lead it by 3. A perfect bunt from Benson Holloman. He gets credit for 1 RBI on the play on what'll go as a bunt single. And then Sean Mahalik just inexplicably flipped the ball up into the air. There was nobody there to catch it. Even if there had been, it would have been way late to get the out. And that allowed a 2nd run to score, but it also allowed Benson Holloman to get a little too aggressive. He's thrown out easily at 2nd base. Strike 1 called on Anthony Capoletti. Capoletti takes a ball. It's 1-1. Two outs, nobody on, but Trinity has scored twice. Swing and a miss, 1-2. One of the runs is unearned on Mahalik's own error. He'll try to keep it that way. Popped up foul to the right side. And out of play. It's still 1-2. Anthony Capoletti flew out to left field, ending the 1st inning. He's 0 for 1. And Mahalik's trying to get him to end another inning. One-two pitch. Fouled away. He stays alive. 4 runs, 5 hits for Trinity Christian. St. Francis has Now committed 3 errors as well. There's a ball low, 2-2. Mahalik has neither walked nor hit anybody. Ball 3, the count's gone full. First 4 batters this inning saw a combined total of 5 pitches. This will be number 8 to Anthony Capoletti. Swing and a miss, and the inning is over. Second strikeout for Mahalik, but the damage is done by Trinity Christian. They scored 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error. Nobody left on base as we go to the bottom of the third. 4-1, Trolls lead.
2 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 error, and nobody was left on. Leading off the St. Francis third inning.
St. Francis is in a bit of an unfamiliar position. After winning 7 consecutive games, they have not found one in the bottom of the third. There have been a few come from behind victories for the Fighting Saints, so they're not totally out of their element. Ball 1 high on Dan Gusel, who gets his first at bat of the day. Gusel did not start behind the plate in game 1. That was Jake Murda. Gusel fouls it off. Count evens at 1. Saints backstop is hitting 186. He's got 1 home run and 7 RBIs this year. 1-1 pitch. Up and in for a ball, 2-1. Fouled out of play, 2-2. Gusel, and then the top of the order. John McGuire and Max Montgomery are scheduled to hit behind him in the lineup. Christopher Nielsen's next pitch. Check swing. He did not go around. Full count. The leadoff man has reached base in each of the first 2 innings for the Saints, one of them on a walk. It's the only walk issued so far by Nielsen, who has been pretty good through 2+ innings. Just the 1 run allowed so far. He's pitched around trouble. Ball 4. He issues his second walk of the game. Gusel is aboard.
Your attention, running over at first.
And that'll bring Alex Milcars in to run at first base. Milcars is the designated courtesy runner for whenever the catcher gets on. Here's John McGuire. It's a bad walk for Nielsen. Gusel does draw a lot of them. He's got a .375 on base percentage, which is almost 200 full points higher than his batting average. McGuire shows bunt, takes the ball, snap throw down to first, not in time to get Milcars. So Gusel's a patient hitter. He's a guy who can work the count. And then the murderer's row that comes behind it. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Just listen to the batting averages of the top 5 hitters in the lineup for St. Francis. It goes 380, 352, 363, 404, and 434. When you see a 186 hitter at the start of the inning, putting him aboard for free is rough. There's a ball up and in, throw down to first, and Milkars is in ahead of the tag. Trinity didn't think so. Both the first baseman and second baseman voiced their complaint, and now the head coach is on the same page. Adam Enright gets just a brief explanation before heading back to the dugout. The throw had him beat, no question about that. Apparently no tag. 2-1 on John McGuire. McGuire's been looking to sacrifice himself throughout this at-bat. He's got a hitter's count here. We'll see if the bunt sign stays on. Throw to first base. Milkars this time back in safely. Nielsen's having a little trouble with his control to start this inning as he misses upstairs on McGuire. 3-1. Leadoff man has reached in all 3 innings for the Saints. So it's usually taken him a batter or two to get settled in at the start of an inning. He's behind McGuire, who swings and lifts it into center field. Drifting back is Carter Cheney. Cheney makes the routine catch. 1 down. Milkars retreats to first base. Here's Max Montgomery. Montgomery is 1 for 1. Reached on a bunt single his first time up. He was later in the inning caught stealing. Speaking of stealing, the runner is on the move, and Montgomery rolls it through the vacant hole on the right side of the infield. Milkars heads to third on a perfectly executed hit and run. Montgomery is 2 for 2, and the Fighting Saints have runners at the corners.
First baseman number 31, Nate Meliska.
Milkars took off, and with the second baseman Zach Hess going to cover the bag, Montgomery couldn't have placed it any better. He rolled it right into Hess's vacated slot. So good RBI chance for Meliska. Runner on the move, swing, and a foul ball. Like another hit and run right there. Montgomery took off. Meliska chased one downstairs. He ends up bouncing it foul for strike 1. Nate Meliska's 0 for 1, but he's got the only RBI of the game so far for the Fighting Saints. Brought home a run in the first inning on a ground out. The 0-1 pitch fouled away. 0-2. We're very early in this game. Saints don't need to get these 3 runs all back right now. But with runners at the corners and 1 out, they're certainly thinking about potentially more than 1 run this inning as Meliska strikes out swinging. And now they're just hopeful to get at least 1. As Nielsen picks up a huge strikeout. Second out of the inning, second strikeout of the game for him. It'll be up to Jake Klepash to get this runner home from third. Klepash is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. He takes an 0-1 count here. Nielsen certainly seems to have found his control. He walked the leadoff batter Gusel and then fell behind McGuire 3-1. But since then, he's been pounding the zone. The 0-1 pitch. With the runner going, it's a called strike. The throw goes to second. Run comes home for St. Francis, so they put one on the board. And there's the tag. Montgomery is out. So that was all part of the plan for the Fighting Saints. They do get the run as Milkars swipes home. Montgomery is caught in the rundown and retired to end the third inning. Klepash will lead off the fourth with his team now trailing by just 2. Saints get 1 run back in the bottom of the third. It's a 4-2 game. Trinity Christian leads on our way to the fourth.
leading off the fourth inning, number 8.
Trinity Christian has led this one throughout. They scored 2 runs in the top of the first. They've been ahead by as many as 3. Currently a 2-run lead as they bat for the 4th time today. And Carter Cheney offers it the first pitch, flying it to deep right center field, back towards the fence, and it's gone. Carter Cheney goes long on the first pitch of the 4th inning, and the Trinity Christian Trolls, who have brought their bats out here in Game 2 after getting stifled in the first game, have extended their lead to 5-2. For Carter Cheney, home run number 2, RBI number 12 this season. It did not take long for the Trolls to get that run back that they allowed in the bottom of the 3rd. Just one pitch later. Here's Zach Hess. 1 for 1. He singled in the 2nd inning. He swings at the first pitch here, grounds it down the third base line. That's a foul ball. Strike 1. Trolls were limited to 2 runs on 5 hits over 7 innings in Game 1. Here in Game 2, we're just over 3 innings in, and they've already got 5 runs on 5 hits. So that one surpassed their hits total from Game 1. Ball low on Hess, 1-1. Fly ball into center field. Cliff Vickers chases it back. On his horse, he can't get to it. Over the head of Vickers. Zach Hess goes to second base with a double. Back-to-back extra base hits for Trinity Christian open up the 4th inning. And they're in good shape to pull away here as Brody Mayberry will come up to bat. Sean Mahalik has been really sharp lately for St. Francis. Not so much so far today. 5 runs are in, 4 of them are earned. And there's another man at second base with nobody out in this 4th inning. Brody Mayberry bounced out to the pitcher his first time up. He's 0 for 1. This would, on paper, be a good time to bunt. We'll see if it works that way in practice. He's not bunting, but he does take a strike. It's 0-1. After not squaring up on the first pitch, the corner infielders back up. Meliska behind the bag at first. Dance still in a little bit from his normal depth. Both men start to creep with the pitch from Sean Mahalik. Throw to second base instead, and back in safely is Zach Hess. Still 0-1 on Mayberry. This time Mayberry does square early. He misses the bunt. That's strike 2. The pitch was high from Mahalik. Certainly out of the zone. But Mayberry offered at it anyway. Looked like the ball went just above his bat. And now he's in an 0-2 hole, so he may not be able to bunt here. Takes a ball in the dirt. Good block by Goosel. 1-2. Seven runs already on the board in this game. We're only in the top of the 4th. But a lot of offense so far between two of the more offensive teams in the conference. 1-2 pitch. Flipped foul to the right side. Meliska gives it a run, but it's well out of his reach and out of play. Trinity entered this series 4 games behind St. Francis in the conference standings. So if they had swept the 4-game series, they would have been in a virtual tie. That's no longer possible after the Saints already took Game 1 today. And while the Fighting Saints have built up a pretty hefty lead, about 2/3 of the way through the season, a little bit over 2/3 of the way through, their lead isn't insurmountable as Mayberry takes a ball high, 2-2. For Trinity Christian, it might be, though, by the end of this weekend. I figure they probably need to win 3 out of 4 to have any reasonable chances of catching St. Francis in the standings. Still 2-2 on Mayberry. Olivet Nazarene, who just took 3 out of 4 from Trinity Christian last week, they're still in it as well, right around the same record. St. Xavier entered play today officially 2 games behind St. Francis. 2-2. Mayberry strikes out swinging. One away, a big strikeout for Mahalik, his 3rd of the day. A big turnaround there. Mayberry was trying to get a bunt down. It felt like a long time ago. There were another 5 pitches in the at-bat after that.
Number 14, Omar Wright.
But ultimately he ends up striking out. He was not able to advance the runner at all. Now it's up to Omar Wright not just to advance him, but maybe to get him in. Wright hits a sharp grounder past the diving third baseman Dant into left. Montgomery quickly gets it back to the infield. They're at the corners on Omar Wright's 2nd hit of the day. The ball was hit almost too hard for Trinity Christian. It got to Montgomery in a hurry, meaning no chance for the runner. Zach has to score from 3rd.
Shortstop, number 12.
Or to score from 2nd where he started the play. He ended up at 3rd. Here's Oliver Carmody. 1 for 2 with a single and 2 runs scored. Carmody drops the bunt down. It's picked up by Mahalik. He flips home, and it's not in time. So Mahalik took the risk in coming home rather than trying to get the out at first base. He's late with his throw home, and the squeeze play works for Trinity Christian as they extend their lead to 6-2. Carmody is safe at first base. I don't know if that'll go as a bunt hit or a fielder's choice. I would guess fielder's choice, because I think that Mahalik did have the choice. If he wanted to go to first, he would have had the out. He chose the riskier option with potentially the greater reward. He didn't end up getting that reward, though. Liner to 3rd, caught by Dant. Dant wanted to throw back to 2nd to double up the runner Omar Wright, but Wright got to the bag before even McGuire could. So good base running, but 2 outs now. Connor Janik is retired.
First baseman, number 27, Preston Moore.
Here's Preston Moore, 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Caught game 1, first base here in game 2. He takes ball 1. Trinity likes their 2s on the board so far. 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. Fouled out of play, strike 1. The only inning in which they didn't score 2 runs was the one inning where a 2 was already on the board, because it was the 2nd inning. As long as there's at least 1-2 in every column. There's a high pop-up on the infield, right around the home plate circle. Mahalik makes the call for it, and the pitcher makes the catch to end the inning. 2 more runs score for Trinity Christian thanks to 3 hits. They leave a man at first and second. So we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, 6-2 Trinity. St. Francis in a 4-run hole as we start the bottom of the 4th inning. Credit to Trinity Christian. They keep pouring them on. 2 runs in the top of the 1st, and they have not looked back. Their lead is now the biggest it's been all day as Jake Klepash leads things off and takes strike 1 from Christopher Nielsen. Next pitch is lifted foul and out of play. 0-2. Klepash was in the batter's box in the 3rd inning when Max Montgomery was more or less intentionally caught stealing to end the inning. He would have preferred to be safe, but really the only purpose of his stolen base attempt was to allow a run to score from third base, which he did do. Fouled away by Klepash, still 0-2. So when that inning ended and Klepash had a 1-1 count on him, he was able to head back out into the field, regroup, and get to restart the at-bat now. He's in a hole, though, 0-2. Nielsen tries to put him away. He misses high. 1-2. Nielsen's been sharp so far. He's run into troubles here and there, though. Leadoff man has reached in every inning. Check swing and a ball high. 2-2. If he's not able to go too deep into this game, we'll see the Trinity Christian bullpen, which is about as good as it gets in the CCAC. Klepash pops it up on the infield right side. Second baseman Hess and the first baseman Moore nearly ran into each other, but they communicated at the last second, and Moore makes the catch.
Third baseman, number 32, Drew.
1 away in the 4th. First time today the leadoff batter has been retired. Here's Drew Dant. Reached on balls in the 2nd inning. One of 2 walks so far in the game. This time he takes strike 1. Dant has been on base 4 times in today's doubleheader. Bidding for number 5, he takes outside 1-1. 6 innings of offense still to go for St. Francis. Technically, I guess 5 2/3 innings. Popped up behind home plate, and that'll find its way to the seats. One and two. Brian Hidalgo waits to hit next. Check swing, that misses outside. Nielsen's been playing around with hitters a little bit, letting them stay in at bats after initially getting ahead of them. 2-2. Dant, it's another foul ball. Already a lengthy inning for Nielsen, who hasn't had to work overly hard. He has, as I mentioned, been forced to pitch around base runners in each inning so far. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out swinging. Third strikeout for Nielsen. 2 outs in the 4th. Here's Brian Hidalgo. As I was saying before, a lot of time remains in this game for the St. Francis offense. They've got 5 1/3 innings. They're only trailing by 4, so that's not desperate. What is, though, is number 1, how well Nielsen is pitching today. And number 2, how well the Trolls are hitting here in game 2. Swing and a miss from Brian Hidalgo, strike 1. Hidalgo's 0 for 1 with a fielder's choice. 4-run comeback seems doable, but there's no reason to believe that this is going to be just a 4-run comeback. Trolls will still have opportunities to extend that lead. Strike over the inside corner. 0-2. Nielsen trying to put an end to the 4th inning. He just misses high. 1-2. Josh Kernbauer waits on deck, hoping for a chance this inning. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nielsen's looking for the first 1-2-3 inning of the game for either side. The scoreboard's got it count at 3-2. The payoff pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Christopher Nielsen. He's got 4 strikeouts through 4 innings. And the Saints once again fail to score. We head to the 5th. 6-2, Trinity Christian.
Leading off the 5th inning, number 6.
Benson Holloman leads off the 5th inning for Trinity Christian College. They lead the game 6-2. 5 innings still to play in this one. First pitch is taken for ball 1. Through 4, Sean Mahalik has struggled, having allowed 7 hits so far. His only clean inning was the second. That ball is popped up by Holloman behind home plate. Dan Goosel tosses his mask aside, finds the ball, and makes the catch. Nice job by Goosel sticking with it. It's never an easy play. A ball popped behind home plate. Spinning as it is. The catcher coming at it from a bit of an awkward angle. And then you throw the sun into the mix, and that's not easy. But Goosel made it like a pro, and now it's Anthony Capoletti's turn to hit. Fly ball into center field. Shielding his eyes from the sun, Cliff Vickers finds the ball and makes the catch. 3 pitches, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. So on both ends of the field, Goosel behind home plate, Vickers out in center. Both men are able to master the sun.
Number 8, Carter Cheney.
Here's Carter Cheney. Cheney's 1 for 2. He struck out his first time up, but launched a solo homer on the first pitch of the 4th inning. He swings the first pitch here and flies it to center. Vickers backs up, makes the catch, and ends the inning. It's a 4-pitch inning for Sean Mahalik. Far and away his best of the day. We've played half a baseball game. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. 6-2, Trinity Christian. Bottom 5, Trinity Christian leads St. Francis 6-2. Kernbauer, Vickers, and Gusel due up for St. Francis, trying to overcome this 4-run deficit. Josh Kernbauer is 0 for 1 with a flyout. Christopher Nielsen's first pitch is fouled off to the right side and out of play for strike one. Four straight St. Francis hitters have been retired by Christopher Nielsen, who struck out 2 of the 3 men he faced in the 4th. Line drive into center field. Kernbauer ends the stretch. He's got a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That'll bring up Cliff Vickers with a runner at first base and nobody out. Vickers flew to center his first time up. Easiest inning of the game for the Saints came in the top of the 5th when Sean Mahalik retired the side on just 4 pitches. So we'll see if that helps the Saints offense put a little pressure on Nielsen as Vickers swings at the first one, bloops it into shallow left. Backing up Oliver Carmody, he makes the catch. 1 down. They've been very aggressive here in this 5th inning as well. But Nielsen had to work hard to get his 1-2-3 bottom of the 4th. He threw almost 20 pitches in that inning. Some good, tough battles with St. Francis hitters, even though they all went his way. And then he got, maybe 2 minutes to rest before heading back out there for the 5th inning because the top of the frame went so quickly. Strike one called on Dan Gusel, who drew a walk his first time up. When you throw, it was 18 pitches that he threw in the 4th and then get less than a 3-minute rest before going back out there. Could help to wear him down a little. Strike two called on Gusel. Runner at first is Kernbauer. 1 out, 2 strikes on Gusel, and then it's the top of the order after his at-bat. Oh, 0-2. Hard one hopper to short. Carmody flips it to second for 1. Over to first. It's a wild throw to first base, and Gusel is safe. He will not make an effort to advance to second. No error on the play because they did get the force at second, but they've left the door open for St. Francis. Carmody had time with the catcher running down the line. I don't know if he rushed it or if he just made a bad throw, but whatever the case, Saints catch a break by remaining in the inning. Gusel reaches on a fielder's choice. He's replaced at first base by Alex Milkars, who scored a run as a pinch runner in the 3rd inning. Here's John McGuire taking ball 1. Hess, by the way, was the guy who threw the ball away at first base, not Carmody. Downstairs on McGuire, 2-0. McGuire's 1 for 2. He doubled and scored in the 1st inning. He's got 2 RBIs and 3 runs scored in the doubleheader. And he smokes this ball in the left field, his second hit of this game. Milkars advances to second base on the play, trailing by 4. Just past the halfway point of this game, St. Francis is making a little 2-out noise. Max Montgomery will try to keep this inning alive for the Fighting Saints. St. Francis has stranded just 1 runner so far. They have had 2 men caught stealing. Actually, they've had 1 man caught stealing. It was Max Montgomery twice. He swings the first pitch here and fouls it back. Strike 1. Montgomery's 2 for 2. 2 singles. Again, the base running has not been what he'd like it to be, but his second caught stealing was more or less intentional. Trying to get the runner home from third, which he did. Fly ball this time into center field, routine. The catch is made by Cheney, and the inning is over. No runs despite a pair of hits. No errors, 2 left. We go to the 6th, 6-2, Trinity. into the sixth. It's a 6-2 lead for Trinity Christian.
Second baseman number
8,
32.
9, and 1 due up for the
Hess.
Trolls, who are trying to get back on track against Sean Mahalik, who seems to have settled in after Trinity got to him pretty well early on. Zach Hess is 2 for 2 with a double and a run scored. He takes strike one. Third time through the batting order. Trolls have gone just 1 for 7 against Mahalik. That was after collecting 8 hits. First 2 trips through the order. 1-1 count. Next pitch is bounced weakly down the third base line. It's foul. And it's strike 2. Hess didn't get the start in game 1, but he's been a big part of the game 2 success. Contributing to one of their runs. Big part of that fourth inning rally in which they doubled their lead from 2 runs to 4. Even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mahalik trying to finish him off. In the dirt, ball 3. Seen a handful of full counts here this afternoon. Mahalik has not walked anybody yet. He was ahead of Hess 1 and 2. And now Hess flies it into center field. Long run for Vickers, and he's able to get there. Cutting in front of Jake Klepash to make the catch. They had Hess shaded to left field. So even though that ball was much closer to center really than even right center, Klepash nearly got there before Vickers. It was the center fielder making the grab, though. 1 down. Here's Brody Mayberry. Mayberry has grounded out to the pitcher and struck out swinging. Last time up, he was trying to bunt and advance the runners. He couldn't do it. He ended up striking out, but the run scored anyway. Ball 1 low on Mayberry. Trolls scored 2 in the first, 2 runs in the third, and 2 in the fourth. Hard ground ball, and that's a foul ball. Just wide of the bag at third. Goes as strike 1 on Mayberry. From up here, I thought it went straight over the bag, but apparently not. The Trinity dugout reacted the same way. They thought it was a fair ball. But all of us are at angles skewed by the third baseline. Be easier to see that one from the first base dugout. I didn't see St. Francis's reaction, but I don't think any of them were unhappy with the call. If they disagreed with it, they wouldn't say anything. Fly ball hit by Mayberry out to right field. Klepash can't find it, and now he does locate it at the last second and make the catch. 2 outs. That was lucky because he had no idea, it seemed, where that ball was for much of the play. And when he finally did locate it, it happened to have been hit right to him. Not right where he was originally positioned. He did follow the ball initially. He was able to track it at the beginning of the play, and then he lost it somewhere in the sky. And he found it in just enough time to make the catch. He's fortunate it didn't conk him on the head or something like that after losing it. Ground ball to the shortstop, hit by Wright, and it's booted by Brian Hidalgo. Omar Wright reaches base for the 3rd time today. 4th error of the game on St. Francis.
Catcher number 12, Oliver Carmody.
So Oliver Carmody gets a chance to bat with a man on base. That error snaps a string of 8 consecutive batters retired by Sean Mahalik, who drops strike 1 in on Carmody. Ball 1 to even the count. Carmody has been on base 3 times in this game. Reached on an error and scored in the first, singled and scored in the third, and then in the 4th inning, on a fielder's choice, brought home a run on what actually went as a sacrifice. It was a squeeze play. The run came home. The throw came home as well. And everybody was safe. So a really productive at bat for Carmody. Ball low, the runner on the move. Throw to second is high. And Omar Wright steals second base. It's 2-1 on Carmody. And now a hitter's count with a man in scoring position. Things turn around in a hurry sometimes. Mahalik looked like he had his second straight easy 1-2-3 inning. He got 2 quick outs, and then on the first pitch, Omar Wright hit the routine grounder to short. But the air kept the inning alive, and now a stolen base has Mahalik in a little bit of trouble. 2-2 count. Trying to put away Carmody. He misses low. Count goes full. The run here for Trinity would be enormous now that we're starting to get into the late stages of this one. I think it's still what we would colloquially refer to as the middle innings. But it's getting late. It's not there yet. Payoff pitch. Carmody hits it high down the left field line. Foul territory and a running chance for Montgomery. He pulls it in. Nice job by Montgomery. He almost overran it, reached back above his head, and was able to pull it in. Nice running catch made to retire the side on a ball that was right along the fencing down the left field line. It nearly left the field of play. It stayed in enough, though, for Montgomery to track it down and end the inning. No run score for Trinity. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. 6-2 Trolls. Nate Maliska leads off the bottom of the 6th. Saints haven't scored since the 3rd inning. Trying to make their move and make this a game as Trinity has led it all the way through so far. Nate Maliska swings the first pitch and pops it into shallow center. Oliver Carmody backs up and makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. In the bottom of the 6th inning, Nate Maliska now 0 for 3. Here's Jake Klepash. He was perfect in game 1. 3 for 3 with a sac fly. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout in game 2. He swings to the first pitch, pops it up, foul ground, right side. First baseman Preston Moore moves over and makes the catch in front of the St. Francis dugout. And that's the 2nd out of the inning. 2 pitches, 2 outs. We saw a 4-pitch inning earlier for Sean Mahalik. Christopher Nielsen's got a chance to one-up him. Drew Dant tends to be a very patient batter. He's put together some long at-bats in this game. Although he did put the ball in play on the first pitch 3 times in game 1. This time he's taken all the way. It's a strike. Good awareness for Nielsen. It's rare when you see 2 pitches, 2 outs that the third batter will swing at the first one. Recognizing that, Nielsen made sure to put it in the zone on a fastball. Misses on this pitch. It's 1-1. So if nothing else, Dant has done his job of extending the inning a little bit. A ball and a strike on him. He takes strike 2. Dant, the grad transfer from William Jewell College. 0 for 1 in this game with a strikeout and a walk. Now behind in the count, 1-2. Next pitch from Nielsen. Misses the inside corner, 2-2. Saints have just 10 outs to play with, trying to extend their winning streak, currently at 7 games. Chopper to the left side, ranging to his left. Capoletti gloves it, throws to first, and it pulls more off the bag. Dant is safe at first, and the inning continues. Capoletti sometimes looks a little unsure of his throws from third base. Made a good play there. He did have time to get the out, but just looked a little awkward, the throwing motion, and the ball coming out of his hand was wide all the way. Here's Brian Hidalgo. Hidalgo takes ball 1 with a runner at first base and 2 outs. Dant is over at first base. See if the Saints can take advantage of their new life this inning. Hidalgo hits it in the air right field. Wright couldn't find it. Now he comes on strong and it bounces in front of him. Dant comes around third. He's going to try to score, and as the ball is dropped at first base by Moore, Dant does score easily. Hidalgo all the way to second base. Trinity Christian's defensive miscues here in the bottom of the 6th have cost them a run. The Saints are within 3. A bloop double for Brian Hidalgo there. Give him an RBI for it. Number 31 this year. Here's Josh Kernbauer. Kernbauer swings the first pitch and lifts it into right center field. That finds the gap, and it bounces to the wall. Another run scores for St. Francis as Kernbauer heads to second base and makes it a 6-4 game. Back-to-back 2-out RBI doubles. 3 straight 2-out base runners for St. Francis here in the 6th. And the Kernbauer double was the first one that was hit hard. Dant's ball was fielded by Capoletti, who made a bad throw to first, and then Hidalgo hit the pop-up that would have been routine had Wright seen it, but he lost the ball in the sun, and that cost him. And then the ball being dropped at first base by Preston Moore cost him again. Otherwise, they would have had a play at home. Cliff Vickers takes strike 1, or ball 1 rather. He swings on 1-0, and he hits it in the air out to center field. This should be routine. Cheney makes the catch and ends the inning. So finally, the 6th does come to a close for Trinity. But the Saints took advantage of a couple of mistakes from Trinity Christian. They get 3 straight 2-out hits, score twice, and they make it just a 2-run game as we head to the 7th. Trinity 6, St. Francis 4. Top 7, 6-4. Trinity Christian has the lead. They've been up by as many as 4. Their lead has been cut in half. They'll try to tack on a few more here in the 7th inning with Connor Janik leading things off against Sean Mahalik still in the game. There's been action down in the St. Francis bullpen the last couple of innings as Janik hits it a mile high out to left field. Montgomery backs up on it and puts it away. That's the first out of the 7th inning. Shaky start for Mahalik, but he has really settled in. He's been great these last few innings. He's retired 10 of the last 11 batters. The only man to reach during that stretch was Omar Wright on an error. Scratch that. 9 of the last 10 batters have been retired. Omar Wright reached on an error last inning. He's the only one to reach during that stretch. Preston Moore takes ball 1. Moore is 1 for 3 with an RBI single. The 1-0 pitch is popped up on the infield. Mahalik looking for it. He's called away by the first baseman, Maliska. And between first base and the pitcher's mound, Maliska makes the grab. 2 down. Another quick start to this inning for Mahalik. 2 outs on 4 pitches. In the 5th inning, he got 3 outs on 4 pitches. The 6th inning was a marathon by comparison. He would have had a 10-pitch inning had it not been for the error that kept the inning alive. Strike 1 called on Tommy Schaff. Batting in the 5 spot in the order here where Benson Holloman was positioned earlier. Schaff takes a ball. It's 1-1. Tommy Schaff's a .250 hitter. 12 RBIs on the season. He takes a ball. He's ahead in the count 2-1. No homers for Schaff in 88 at-bats. He does have 3 extra base hits. They've all been doubles. Downstairs, 3-1. 3 straight misses from Mahalik, who's fallen behind a lot of hitters today. Had a lot of 3-ball counts. He hasn't given in to any of them. Ground ball to the shortstop. Brian Hidalgo is up with it. The throw to first is a step ahead of Schaff, and the inning is over. Second 1-2-3 inning of the game for Sean Mahalik. It's stretch time here in Joliet. 6-4, Trinity Christian has the lead. St. Francis comes up to bat in the bottom of the 7th inning, trailing 6-4. Dan Gusel will lead things off here. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. He takes strike 1 from Christopher Nielsen, still out there for his 7th inning of work. Nielsen has allowed 4 runs. All of them have been earned as that ball is popped up foul to the right side and out of play. Nothing in 2. They've all been earned technically, but you can make an argument that he didn't really deserve to have 2 runs score against him in the 6th. There were a few defensive plays behind him that didn't go his team's way. None of them were ruled errors. One of them was a ball lost in the sun. One of them a difficult play, but one that probably should have been made. And then there was a dropped relay throw. Who knows what that would have turned into if he had made the throw to the plate, but the suspense was lost on the drop. Ball 2 on Gusel. The count is even. It's Gusel, McGuire, and Montgomery due up this inning. St. Francis's bullpen remains active. Trinity Christian's does not. There's some stretching going on down there. Gusel lines it hard but foul down the third base line. Stretching but nothing more in the Trinity Christian College pen. Nobody is up and throwing just yet, so this is Nielsen's ball game for the time being. Just the 4th start of the year for Nielsen. Reliable reliever as well. He just misses for ball 3 on Gusel, a breaking ball that he thought found the inside corner. But the count is 3-2. Saints would love a leadoff base runner, trailing by 2 runs. Gusel's trying to bring the tying run to the plate. Nielsen sets and deals. And Gusel takes strike 3. This time the pitcher gets the call. Back-to-back borderline pitches. First one goes to the hitter. The second one is a called 3rd strike, 1 away in the 7th. It's Nielsen's first strikeout since the 4th inning. He's got 5 in the game. Came in striking out better than 1 per inning. Ball 1 on John McGuire. McGuire's 2 for 3 with a single, a double, and a run scored. Called strike to even the count. 1-1 on McGuire. Montgomery is on deck. If anybody reaches this inning, Nate Meliska will bat. McGuire pops it up on the infield, left side. It's the shortstop, Carmody, making the grab. 2 down. Well, there were 2 outs and nobody on base in the 6th inning. St. Francis ended up getting 2 runs out of that. There's a similar situation in 1 inning back in game 1. They had 2 outs, nobody on, and came up with 3 straight hits and scored a run. So it's certainly not impossible. But they've got their backs against the wall for this 7th inning with 2 outs. And Nielsen looking for a 1-2-3 inning. 0-1 on Max Montgomery, who flips the next pitch out to right field, foul, and out of play. 0-2. Ball landed just beyond the bullpen of St. Francis. Chased Luke Gunther a little bit. Gunther has been thrown off and on for the last couple of innings. Good chance we'll see him out there for the 8th. The 0-2. Ball outside, 1-2. Nielsen is 1 strike away from ending the 7th inning. But he misses outside. 2-2. Montgomery's been able to work the count here after falling behind very quickly. This is the 5th pitch of the at-bat. It's tapped to the left side of the infield under the glove of Nielsen, and nobody else has a play. Cappelletti tried to make the throw down to first, but it was about 3 steps late. An infield hit for Montgomery. As soon as that one got past the pitcher, there was no question he was going to reach. A soft single, but a single nonetheless for Max Montgomery, one of the speedier runners on the team. Tying run in the batter's box. It's Nate Meliska. Meliska had 3 hits in game 1, hitless so far in game 2, and behind in the count, 0-1 after the foul ball. Swing and a miss. Meliska takes a wild hack at the 2nd pitch. Nielsen keeping him off balance. And the St. Francis first baseman is down to his final strike. And the Saints' final strike of the inning. Trying to put together a 2-out rally. Montgomery was behind in the count 0-2. Came back with an infield single. Meliska takes the ball outside. Good pitch on 0-2 from Nielsen. He hit his spot. Mayberry positioned off the outside corner. Meliska didn't chase it. Fouled away. We'll see another 1-2 pitch. Long inning for Nielsen. For a guy who's looking to get out of it without allowing a run. About to throw his 20th pitch. Again, it's off the outside corner, 2-2. A couple members of the Trinity Christian infield flinched on their way back to the dugout, thinking they might get the call there, but that was very similar to the 0-2 pitch. He hit his spot. The spot just happened to be out of the zone. That time he missed his spot too far outside, and the count goes full. After retiring the first two batters of the inning, he's gone to 0-2 on back-to-back St. Francis hitters. So far, he hasn't been able to put either of them away. Runner will be on the move here. The payoff pitch to Maliska. Ground ball to the right side. Hess moves to his left, fields, and throws in time. The inning is over. Saints don't score in the seventh. They got one hit, but leave him at first base. To the eighth we go. Trinity Christian 6, St. Francis 4.
Trinity Christian, 8th inning. Third baseman, number 25, Anthony Capoletti.
Anthony Capoletti leads off the 8th inning for Trinity Christian. He and his Trolls lead 6-4. Sean Mahalik still doing the pitching for St. Francis, and he misses high on the first pitch of this inning. Luke Gunther's been on call for the last 3 innings or so, but Mahalik's been so good. Never really come up. Capoletti bounces it foul down the third baseline. 1-1. 2 of the last 3 innings for Mahalik have been perfect. He's retired 11 of the last 12. The only man to reach base during that stretch was on an error. Capoletti pops it up, right side of the infield. Maliska, the first baseman, makes the catch. He and McGuire nearly collided, but Maliska's able to pull it in. 5 straight set down by Mahalik, 1 away in the 8th. Anthony Capoletti returns to the dugout, 0 for 4 today. Just looking at Capoletti's name, he's a rare triple-double in that last name. 3 places where he's got double consonants. 2 P's, 2 L's, 2 T's. Looks like Mahalik will leave on a high note as he retires the leadoff batter in the 8th inning. We're going to get a call to the bullpen here. 5 straight Trolls have been retired, but they lead 6-4 in the top of the 8th. I'll tell you about the new pitcher in just a moment. One out, nobody on in the top of the 8th inning. New pitcher out there for St. Francis. It's the southpaw Luke Gunther. His first pitch misses outside for ball 1 on the center fielder Carter Cheney. Gunther is on for the 12th time this year. He's 2-2 with a 5.09 ERA. 23 innings, he's allowed 20 runs. 13 of them have been earned on 29 hits with 14 strikeouts and 6 walks. He relieves Sean Mahalik. I'll give you his final numbers in a moment. Ball outside, 2-1. There's no question this year that Ryan Daly has been the best pitcher on the Fighting Saints, but I think you can make an argument that Mahalik and Gunther coming into today have been the two hottest. Ground ball fouled on the first base line, 2-2. And Mahalik got off to a shaky start today, but he turned it around. Last 3+ innings, he was excellent. He retired 12 of the final 13 batters he faced. The only man to reach during that final stretch was on an error. 2-2. Hard grounder through the hole on the right side of the infield. Second hit of the ball game for Cheney, who homered in the 4th. There's a man on here in the top of the 8th for Trinity Christian. Final numbers for Sean Mahalik. He went 7 1/3 innings. He allowed 6 runs. I've got 5 of them as being earned. He allowed 9 hits, no walks, struck out 3. Zach Hess shows bunt, takes ball 1 outside. Hess is 2 for 3 with a single, a double, and a run. We're here in the top of the 8th. Trinity has led this one all the way. They scored 2 runs in the top of the 1st. Pick-off throw to first. Runner dives back in. Their lead after going ahead 2-0 early has been cut down to as small as 1. It's been as big as 4 back when it was 6-2. But it's sitting at 2 runs right now, and the Saints trying to be sure to keep it that way. Hess pops up the bunt behind home plate, and it drops for a strike. 1-1. No chance for Goosel on that play. Didn't locate it immediately, and even if he had, he would have had to fight through the umpire in order to get to it. So it's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Hess looking for his second sacrifice bunt of the season. Gunther being very careful with the man over at first. Cheney has swiped 7 bags this year in case Trinity's thinking about pulling back the bunt call. They don't, though. It is a bunt down the third base line picked up by Goosel, who fires a strike over to first. McGuire covering the bag. That's a sacrifice. 2-4 on the putout. Carter Cheney advances to second base, but there are 2 outs now. The batter is Brody Mayberry. Mayberry is 0 for 3. Hitting just 200 on the season. He takes strike 1 over the inside corner. You could see the bunt if there were no outs at the time. But there was already 1 out. Hess has been swinging a hot bat today. So take the bat out of his hands and give it to Mayberry, even with a man in scoring position, now that there are 2 outs. Might have been doing a favor to St. Francis. We'll see how it plays out. One ball, 1 strike. Next pitch coming in. Grounded right to the second baseman. McGuire drops down to his knee to field it. He throws to first and ends the inning. Gunther does his job after relieving Mahalik in the top of the 8th. We'll head to the bottom of the frame. 6-4. Trinity has the lead. We're in the bottom of the 8th. St. Francis is running out of time to make their comeback, but they're not out of time. Still 6 outs to play with as Jake Klepash digs in for his 4th at-bat of the game. He chases one downstairs for strike 1 as we are underway in the bottom of the 8th inning. Christopher Nielsen still doing the pitching for Trinity Christian. Nielsen's been very good in this game. He's held the top offense in the CCAC in check for the most part. Ball 1 on Klepash to even the count. Still has not been a troll to get loose in the bullpen despite an elevated pitch count for Nielsen. That ball's grounded up the middle. Carmody lunges to his left, gloves and throws to first. Nice play by Carmody. Klepash is retired for the 4th consecutive time after he went 3 for 3 in game 1. Well, that was his best bit at a hit today, in this game anyway. A hard hit ground ball, but Carmody played it well. One away, here's Drew Dant. Dant has been on base twice. A walk and an infield single. He has scored once. Big cut here, strike 1. Brian Hidalgo is on deck. Hot-hitting DH Josh Kernbauer will come up this inning if anybody reaches. Popped up foul to the right into the seating area and out of play, 0-2. Not much sun remaining in the seats here in Joliet. Just down the first base line. It is a cool day, about 55 degrees, but pleasant in the sun. Ball outside, 1-2. In the shaded area down the left field line, I see a lot of people wrapped up in blankets. Actually, I see a lot of people wrapped up in blankets in the sunny section too, so maybe it's cool everywhere today. It's been breezy. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Dant goes down on strikes for the 2nd time today. Nielsen gets him again, 2 outs. Brian Hidalgo blooped a ball out to right field his last time up. Omar Wright lost it in the sun and ended up falling in for an RBI double. That was his first hit today. He's 1 for 3 in the game. Scored a run later in that 6th inning after picking up the RBI. 0-1 count on him. Next pitch misses high for a ball. 1-1. There's a high pop-up. Right side of the infield, playable. Drifts into foul territory, but the first baseman, Preston Moore, is there. He makes the grab, and it's maybe the easiest inning of the game against a tough trio of hitters. Up over 100 pitches for the game. Nielsen looks as sharp as ever in the 8th. We'll go to the 9th with 1 inning to play. It's Trinity Christian 6, St. Francis 4. Top of the ninth, Trinity Christian leads 6-4. Top of the order due up for them against Luke Gunther, who is on for his second inning. First pitch to Omar Wright is grounded to the shortstop. Hidalgo gets in front of it. Off balance throw to first is in time. Well played by Brian Hidalgo. 1 out in the ninth. Omar Wright runs well, which makes that play a little bit more difficult. Hidalgo had the option maybe to try to backhand that and make a quicker throw to first. But he made the surer play by getting in front of it. May have been surer, but it's a little bit slower. So he had to make a perfect throw to first in order to get right, and he did just that. Strike one called on Oliver Carmody. Carmody is 1 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. The 0-1 pitch breaks over the inside corner, 0-2. Gunther came in with 1 out in the 8th inning, so he's now pitched officially 1 scoreless frame, allowing just 1 hit so far. Carmody makes it 2 hits as he gets it inside the third base line and turns on the Jets as he heads into second base with a double. Trinity Christian's dugout is fired up. I don't have the info on this. That must be a big hit for him. Obviously, it's a big hit for him. They're going to keep the ball for him. I'll look into it. As far as this game is concerned, it's a big one in that he is an insurance run over at second base. Trinity would love to make this a 3-run game heading into the bottom of the 9th. Connor Janik stands in. Janik hits it hard into left center field, and that drops in for a base hit. Montgomery is unable to cut it off. Carmody comes in to score to make it 7-4. Back-to-back doubles. This one an RBI for Janik. And they do pick up that big insurance run. And Carmody is mobbed one more time. He is greeted by his teammates on his way to the dugout after the run. An historic hit for him here in this 9th inning. What makes it historic? I'm still trying to ascertain. Here's Preston Moore batting with a man at second base and 1 out. He swings the first pitch and grounds it to short. Hidalgo throws to first base and gets the out. Janik is forced to hold at second base on the play. 2 down. We'll bring up Tommy Schaff. Schaff grounded out his last time up. Came on to play left field in place of Benson Holloman, who started the game. Schaff swings at the first pitch and fouls it away. Strike one. A lot of aggressive at-bats this inning against Gunther. I think all but one pitch this inning has been swung at. Lefty to righty, the 0-1. There's the first ball thrown this inning by Gunther. 1 ball, 1 strike. Trinity Christian is trying to snap a 7-game St. Francis winning streak. They're in good position to do it. Pickoff throw to second. Janik wasn't even really taking a lead, so he's easily back to the bag. One and one. Schaff pops it up foul to the right side. Out of play. And the count is 1-2. So Gunther's 1 strike away from getting us into the bottom of the 9th. The Fighting Saints will have Kernbauer, Vickers, and Goosel due to hit. 1-2 pitch. Grounded to third base. Scooped up cleanly by Drew Dant, and his throw to first is in time to retire the side. But back-to-back doubles from Carmody and Janik add a big insurance run for Trinity Christian. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Trolls lead the Saints 7-4. Bottom of the ninth inning, last hope for St. Francis is Josh Kernbauer, Cliff Vickers, and Dan Goosel facing the starting pitcher, Christopher Nielsen, who's trying for his first complete game of the year. His first pitch misses for ball one. Nielsen has retired 7 of the last 8 batters he's faced. He's had problems with Kernbauer today, though. Saints DH is 2 for 3 with an RBI double. He takes a ball 2-0. 115 pitches so far in the game for Nielsen. Kernbauer takes a step back and takes ball 3. Showed bunt there, but I think he was just giving Nielsen a false target. 3 balls, no strikes. There is finally somebody warming up in the bullpen for Trinity Christian, but I do believe he just started throwing, so I don't think we'll see him right now, even with the 4-pitch walk to Kernbauer. First base runner since the 7th for the Fighting Saints. That's the first walk issued by Nielsen since the 3rd inning. And he will get a visit on the mound right now with runner at first and nobody out. That huge RBI double in the top half of the 9th inning from Connor Janik made this situation a little bit less stressful for Trinity. Without those back-to-back doubles from Oliver Carmody and Janik, we're looking at a 6-4 game, and the tying run would be standing in the batter's box right now.
Number 26, Cliff Vickers.
As it is, the Saints will need a few more base runners to make this thing interesting. Cliff Vickers is 0 for 3 today. He's flown out 3 times. First pitch to him is taken for ball 1. A good thing for Trinity as well with that 3-run lead is Nielsen doesn't really have to pay any attention to the runner at first. There's the first strike of the inning. Called strike 1 on Vickers after 5 consecutive misses. It's 1-1, nobody out. 3-run game at the bottom of the 9th. Bounced foul to the right side by Vickers, 1-2. A long winning streak for St. Francis on the line here. For Trinity, they had lost 4 of their last 5 coming into this one after dropping 3 of 4 last weekend to Olivet and then losing game 1 of the doubleheader today. 1-2 pitch, up high. The count is even. Trinity was right there with St. Francis, nipping at their heels in the conference standings up until their recent downturn. If they can win a couple this weekend from the Saints, it would be huge. It would put them back in the running for, if not the top spot, then maybe the number 2 spot. Oh, they're already in the running for the number 2 spot. They're gunning for number 1 right now. Came into play today 2 behind St. Xavier for second in the conference and 4 behind St. Francis for the league leader. Fouled away by Vickers. Long at bat. Saints have kind of felt like an unstoppable force lately. Offensively especially, but Trinity Christian has slowed them down so far in this game. Vickers strikes out swinging. Looked like he chased one out of the zone there. And Nielsen is able to pick up his 6th strikeout of the game. Make that his 7th strikeout of the game. Jake Murda will step in as a pinch hitter for Dan Goosel. Murda started game 1 behind the plate. Went 2 for 3. So he'll try to keep that offensive prowess rolling here. Saints are down to their final 2 outs. Nielsen, despite the leadoff walk, really hasn't seemed to wear down as this game has gone on. Strike 1 called on Murda. Despite the fact he has not gone this deep in a game this year. He's up over 120 pitches for the day. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Murda. John McGuire is on deck. Kernbauer walked on 4 pitches to begin the inning, but he's been stationary since. Fouled away. Still 0-2. Murda stays alive. St. Francis won game 1 today, 8-2. It snapped a streak of 6 consecutive games in which they had scored in double figures. And now they've been held to just 4 runs through 8 1/3 in this game. Strike 3 called. Murda goes down looking, and the Fighting Saints are down to their final out. Nielsen 1 away from the complete game.
Second baseman, number 11, John McGuire.
John McGuire's 2 for 4 with a double and a run scored. He needs to reach base just to keep this game alive. Max Montgomery is on deck as McGuire takes the first pitch ball, 1-0. This next pitch will be number 130 in the game for Christopher Nielsen. And it's called strike, 1-1. After the leadoff walk, Nielsen has settled in. Back-to-back strikeouts. Now he gets McGuire to ground one to the left side. Foul. It's 1-2. Nielsen had 4 strikeouts through 6 innings today. He's got 4 among his last 2 2/3. You can make an argument he's gotten stronger as this game has gone on. 1-2. McGuire pops it up. Shallow right field. Omar Wright had trouble locating it, and now he gives way to the center fielder, Carter Cheney. And Cheney makes the grab to wrap it up. Trinity Christian takes game 2 of the doubleheader. They snap St. Francis's 7-game winning streak. And they get out of a little funk that they were in, having lost 4 out of their previous 5. The Trolls pick up a big win here in game 2 behind a very strong performance from Christopher Nielsen. 7-4 is our final score. Let's go over the scoring in this one more time. It started right away for Trinity. They scored 2 runs in the top of the first. Thanks to a single and an error, they put runners at the corners with nobody out. Got the runs on an RBI groundout from Connor Janik and a run-scoring single from Preston Moore. So before the Saints even had a chance to bat, they trailed 2-0, and they never overcame that deficit. They did get 1 back in the first inning, thanks to a double from John McGuire and then an RBI groundout for Nate Maliska. But Trinity added to their lead with 2 more runs in the third. They had 3 hits in the inning. Singles from Carmody, Janik, and Holloman made it 4-1. Saints got 1 in the bottom of the third. Dan Gusel walked. Max Montgomery singled to put runners at the corners, and then the double steal resulted in a run scoring to make it 4-2. But Trinity Christian pulled away again. 2 more runs in the fourth. Carter Cheney homered. Zach Hess doubled and scored on a squeeze bunt from Oliver Carmody. That made it 6-2. It was the biggest lead of the game for Trinity. They didn't score again until the 9th. The Saints cut into the deficit with 3 straight 2-out hits in the 6th. They got RBI doubles from Hidalgo and Kernbauer to make it 6-4, but that's as close as they would come. Over the final 3 innings, they did not get a man past first base. Trinity got back-to-back doubles in the 9th from Carmody and Janik to get the final run and make it 7-4. Saints were not able to mount a rally in the 9th against Christopher Nielsen, who went the distance, picks up his first complete game of the year, but his 6th win this season. He's 6-1. He threw over 130 pitches in this one, 132 to be exact, and came away with the victory, allowing 4 runs over 9 innings. The losing pitcher for St. Francis is Sean Mahalik, who falls to 1-1 for the season. Mahalik started poorly and really got stronger as the game went on. He looked great over his final 4 or 5 innings. Ended up going 7 1/3 in this one. He allowed 6 runs, 5 of them earned in the loss. Once again, the final score 7-4. Trinity Christian picks up the victory. They split the doubleheader. Trolls are now 22-20, 14-10 in conference. St. Francis sees their long winning streak come to a close. They still sit atop the CCAC, now 19-15 overall, 17-5 in conference games. These two teams are back at it tomorrow for a Saturday afternoon doubleheader at Trinity Christian. The next time the Saints play at home will be on Tuesday, and we'll have that one for you here at 1 o'clock. So join us for that. And if you're not at Palos Heights tomorrow for the game between St. Francis and Trinity Christian, that's the next time that I'll talk to you on Tuesday afternoon. St. Francis Trinity Christian split a doubleheader. That'll do it for today's broadcast. 8-2 the final in Game 1. The Saints win. Game 2, the Saints lose 7-4. Until next time, Terry Bonadonna signing off from Dooley Health and Care Field in Joliet, Illinois. Enjoy the rest of your Friday.